Y'all know what time it is.
I'm white. I got you, huh?
Illegally selling water without a permit
on my property.
Whoa! Hey!
You don't live here.
I'm uncomfortable.
So today, Black correspondent for NBC, Shaquille Brewster, was live from Mississippi, where he was reporting on the hurricane. Brother just trying to do his job. Then this happened.
Hey. We're going to check in with Shaq Brewster just to make sure all is well.
Some trees that have fallen, or at least limbs that have fallen. So they're going to go ahead and do that survey to make sure that they're okay. Craig, I'm going to toss it back to you because we have a person who needs a little help right now.
Hey. We're going to check in with Shaq Brewster just to make sure all is well. There's a lot of crazy out there, a lot of crazy. And Bill Cairns, thank you as well. Again, we'll make sure Shaq's okay.
And do that survey to make sure that they're okay. Craig, I'm going to toss it back to you because we have a person who needs a little help right now.
Hey. We're going to check in with Shaq Brewster just to make sure all is well. There's a lot of crazy out there, a lot of crazy. And Bill Cairns, thank you as well. Again, we'll make sure Shaq's okay. I do want to note here for a moment, you probably saw or heard a few moments ago, one of our correspondents was disrupted by some wacky guy during his live shot there in Mississippi. Please report that Shaquille Brewster is doing just fine. Shaq is okay.
I'm just saying, would have been white man down, white man down. I'm just saying, what would have happened? You just rolling, guys, pull the audio up a panel, y'all.
That's when you drop the mic.
I mean, because you saw how they were talking. You saw how he pulled the microphone out and put his hand in his chest. Yeah.
That
microphone would have been my weapon. I'd have hit him right upside his head. Right upside his head. And poor Craig Melvin ain't Roland Martin, so he can't say crazy ass white man assaulted, our reporter, and he called it wacky. No, he ain't wacky. He MF batshit crazy. What the? Yeah. Never mind. Don't get me on my soapbox about crazy ass white people but between COVID, the hurricane, and just pure ignorance, this has taken this up to a level. It's exponentially caused insanity. Exponential insanity. I mean, how dare that man? And praise the brother for keeping it together. But like I said, that microphone would have been upside that boy's head, and the next shot would have been of him laying in that water.
Yeah, that would have been a little problem there. I'm just saying, you roll up on the live shot. I don't know if you carrying something or whatever. Somebody would have got popped in their mouth in Macongo.
Most definitely, and look, these reporters, they're going to have to start carrying stuff. I mean, not, to protect themselves, a taser or something like that, some pepper spray or something, because in addition to what Dr. Malvo was saying about COVID and all of this other stuff causing people to just go nuts, we also got the Trump and Republican-induced hate towards the media. So, these guys were targets before COVID even became a thing. like with all of these issues going on, people are looking for folks to target. I feel really sorry for Shaq, but quite honestly, these guys are going to have to figure out, maybe they have a police detail with them or carry something, like I said, some mace or pepper spray, because they literally have to protect themselves, because this is happening all across the country. I remember I saw one journalist, a lady said, well, oh, are you from CNN? And the lady was like, no. She's like, oh, because if you were, I would spit on you. Like, seriously? You're going to literally walk up to someone and spit on? No, you ain't going to spit on me if I'm reporting. There's going to be a problem. And it's going to be just a matter of time if one of these reporters do drop their mic and just start swinging the mic, I'm saying.
Hey, all I'm simply saying, Avis, look, don't get your ass whooped. I mean, look, I'm gonna tell you right now. Look, we were down in Atlanta for the Me X Swag Challenge, and there were folk who were rolling up on me, who were just trying to speak or whatever. And what gets me is this here, y'all. Okay, like when we're set up and I'm sitting in a chair with a bunch of cameras around me, I'm probably live. I'm just saying, it's a good bet that I'm live. And folks will come up and they want to talk. Like I had one brother who was he was a wrestler, and my man grabbed back on my shoulder. I was like, see, I mean we've had some close encounters with folks a few times, and so that situation, yeah, mic getting dropped, we assuming the position.
Absolutely. It's got to go down. It's got to go down at that point. And, when you look at what's going on and this sort of huge uptick in violence by white people, let's just be very clear, is happening in various aspects of society. You're exactly right. It's happening with, reporters, but also we're seeing everything that's happening on airplanes, and I'm seeing reports about flight attendants who are having to take self-defense courses. At some point, when someone puts themselves in your personal space like that, you are completely within your right to protect yourself. That man coming in on him like that deserved to beat down immediately. Beat down first, ask questions later.
I bet you that's a stand your ground state. So Shaq could have easily stood his ground and took him down.
Yeah, I mean, and look. A lot of times you have folks, they have security and things along those lines. But again, I think what you saw there was just absolutely crazy. Folks, back to our Roll Mark Unfiltered video in just one moment. All right, folks, CEEK is a streaming platform for virtual events and virtual reality experiences featuring the biggest names in music, sports, and entertainment from around the globe. It, of course, is a Black-owned company founded by Mary Spio. CEEK's mission is to enable content creators to directly generate revenue from a global audience on multiple devices, including VR headsets, smart TVs, gaming consoles, mobile and desktop devices. Whether you're a gamer, music or sports enthusiast, CEEK has something for everyone. All right, folks, and a couple of items that they have that you can actually purchase. That is their 360-degree headphones. Unbelievable sound and bass with these headphones. Great for gaming as well. Bluetooth enabled, and so you can definitely get these headsets in addition to their virtual reality headset as well, where you simply just pop your phone in right here, watch your VR content right there on. Watch it right there on CEEK.com. You can watch 360-degree video as well. If you want to get either one of these, go to CEEK.com. Use this promo code RMVIP21, RMVIP21, and that will give you a discount. And remember, when you purchase these headphones or even the VR headset, a portion of the proceeds comes back to us here at Roland Martin Unfiltered, Black-owned company supporting another Black-owned company. Again, CEEK.com. What we're seeing, and I'm purposely wearing this mask, because this is one of the, the Dr. Clavon Gilman, he, of course, we had him on the show emergency room physician out of Arizona. He posted this and said, these are these KN95 masks, bag of 60. He says one lasts him a week. You're all good. Ain't uncomfortable at all. In fact, this actually feels better than a lot of the cloth masks that I've actually worn before. And it is beyond me. It is beyond me to watch these people, Omakongo, who are absolutely out of their minds crazy. They're out of their minds crazy because, oh, this is just stealing our freedom, and this is just preventing us from living and being who we are. And I posted this over the weekend, and a lot of people commented they saw this on my Instagram page. Anti-masker Caleb Wallace dies after organizing Freedom Defenders Against COVID Mandates. So I posted this on my Instagram, and I'm going to read what I said because I have no problem saying it. And then some people were like, oh my God, you're too harsh. That was unfair. And this is what I put. Now, there are about 2,700 comments on this here. This is what I said. Y'all want to see a dumbass? He refused to get vaccinated. He refused to get tested. Led anti-mask mandates. He touted freedom. Well, his ass free now. Free of life. This line from the story is heartbreaking. Wallace, who was 30, leaves behind 3 children and a pregnant wife. You've got to be a selfish idiot to do this to your wife, 3 kids, and baby on the way.
Wow. 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 A baby on the way as well. You know, they really think they're invulnerable. And I think some of these guys who act like this really, really believe deep down that maybe this is going to be a disease that's going to affect other people in some way, shape, or form. But how much more evidence and proof do we need that this is a problem? Look, I'm working in K-12 schools across the country. I was talking to somebody in Utah the other day. They're like, well, the school board is red, but the leadership in this school is blue, and they're fighting. Last year, when this was going on in the spring, we didn't put the kids at the bottom of these 2 elephants fighting right now, getting trampled. And so when we go back to the school examples that you were talking about, we are literally seeing these cases where schools are actually shutting down a day after opening. As a parent of 3 children who could not wait for them to be back into the classroom, I promise you, if I get a note saying that we're going virtual again, I'm going to lose my mind. The stress and the toll that this is putting on communities is incredible. Like, every parent is just waiting for that email the next day. And so we already got the real threat of COVID. And it's the COVID vaccine. It's not the COVID cure. Take the damn vaccine. We already have the real threat of that. But the other tiers that we have to pay attention to is the level of education that our children are losing, because when they got to be at home and they're not getting the best of services, and it's always going to affect us more, Black and brown people or people in poorer communities, and sometimes we make up to both categories in large numbers. And it's going to have extra large effects in the larger community as it relates to people not being able to go to work because they got to be home with the kids and so on and so forth. This is a health disaster, and it's an economic disaster, and as has been said, entirely preventable. People are leaving their wives and husbands and families and children behind over something that is preventable. It's one thing to not believe in the vaccine and take all of the precautions. But I hear what people say about your post being harsh, Roland, but I understand what you wrote exactly. Because not only was he against the vaccine, he was out there flaunting every single thing that could help people heal themselves. And a lot of us are just fed up with that type of attitude and behavior. So there's going to be a lot more people who are agreeing with you than disagreeing.
Folks, back to our Roland Mark Unfiltered video in just one moment. All right, folks, CEEK is a streaming platform for virtual events and virtual reality experiences featuring the biggest names in music, sports, and entertainment from around the globe. It, of course, is a Black-owned company founded by Mary Spio. CEEK's mission is to enable content creators to directly generate revenue from a global audience on multiple devices, including VR headsets, smart TVs, gaming consoles, mobile and desktop devices. Whether you're a gamer, music or sports enthusiast, CEEK has something for everyone. All right, folks, and a couple of items that they have that you can actually purchase. That is their 360-degree headphones. Unbelievable sound and bass with these headphones. Great for gaming as well. Bluetooth enabled, and so you can definitely get these headsets in addition to their virtual reality headset as well, where you simply just pop your phone in right here, close it, watch your VR content right there watch it right there on CEEK.com. You can watch 360-degree video as well. If you want to get either one of these, go to CEEK.com. Use this promo code RMVIP21, RMVIP21, and that will give you a discount. And remember, when you purchase these headphones or even the VR headset, a portion of the proceeds comes back to us here at Roland Martin Unfiltered, Black-owned company supporting another Black-owned company. Again, CEEK.com. I had to smack Axios around. They have the website, Monique, Robert, and Scott. They literally dropped this story on August 21st. It says, HBCU's identity crisis. And if you scroll this story, they lay out HBCUs, what they call the big picture. And then they quote a professor at Howard University where it says most black students choose HBCUs because they feel a sense of kinship with the college's culture and community. And then they quote him by saying that it's also why there's a sense that non-black students are invaders. They then go on in this story, they talk about the history of HBCUs, what's happening today. And then and how enrollment at HBCUs is increasing with non-black students. It says in 2018, non-black students were 24% of enrollment at HBCUs compared with 15% in 1976. Then they use this, which I think is just stupid. They go, as HBCUs sought out more non-black students, a handful, such as West Virginia State University and Bluefield State College, became predominantly white, leading to racial tensions. And so they quote a graduate of West Virginia State University, this guy, and talks about this tension, and then goes on to say, blah, 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 okay, some other stuff. Okay, here's my problem with this article, how stupid it is. And I literally tweeted the two authors of this article, as well as Jim Vanderhay, who is the co-founder of Axios. This article is stupid because they use as the example of HBCUs having identity crisis two HBCUs located in the state of West Virginia. Monique, Robert, and Scott. The black population of West Virginia is 3.6%. Not 36%, not 30.6%, 3.6%. Okay? They make no note in this article about the explosion of attendance at HBCUs over the last decade. They make no mention that these two universities have been majority white over the last 20 plus years. Okay? So to give this impression that this tension that's going on at HBCUs having an identity crisis is absolute bullshit. And I literally said, how is it that y'all didn't quote nobody from NAFIO, no Leslie Baskerville, nobody from Thurgood Marshall, nobody from the UNCF, but y'all decided to quote a graduate of an HBCU, which is called a historically black college university out of West Virginia, where the black population is 3.6%. This is where I'm like, maybe your problem is, Axios and Jim Vanderhay, y'all ain't got enough black editors. Maybe your problem is you ain't got enough black staffers who would have seen the story and say, identity crisis? No. This is absolutely idiotic, Monique, and horrible journalism.
It is.
Robert.
I yield to Scott for 300.
Robert. I call on who's
She yielded to me.
This ain't Congress.
Well, a couple points.
It was Jeopardy.
A couple points. One on the kind of circling back to the female drum major story. I do want to give a shout out to LaToya, the showstopper Lee, who was our drum major at Clark Atlanta University back in 2002. When female drum majors.
We ain't talking about Clark Atlanta.
Well, look, I went to Clark Atlanta. I'm
the
in Atlanta.
story was Grambling.
Clark Atlanta.
Can you stay focused?
Going to point B on this issue. I think that what we're seeing in the popular press, particularly right-wing press, is an effort to slander HBCUs. As we've seen more and more funding going to them, more and more publicity. We saw what Chris Paul did in the bubble to promote HBCUs. We're seeing more SWAC and MEAC teams playing major universities. We're seeing more money going towards HBCUs in general. They were trying to do everything they can.
Why would you say going to Howard?
Well, you know, it's Clark Atlanta's there, so if they can't get into Clark, there's always Howard. So, you know.
That's why I yielded to Scott, because
listen,
Howard's getting the money and they hating. That's all it is. Go ahead,
Exactly.
Go ahead. Continue.
But here's the deal, Roland. Here's the deal. Historical black colleges are doing better than ever financially. The last COVID Relief Act relieved all of their debt through UNCF and through and the federal guarantees, right? Private billionaires and multi-million and millionaires are giving more to historical black colleges because of the racial equity plans out here. We are experiencing a boom, and as a double HBCU graduate, Morehouse and Howard, my only response to that article is, we good, right? But remember one thing, we have never excluded any person of any other color, which is why we're historical black colleges. We've never excluded anybody. Morehouse 10 years ago had a white valedictorian. And so that article is rooted in ignorance. And as someone who sits on the board of my alma mater, as secretary, I know the facts and the statistics well. And so they could have interviewed me. They could have interviewed you. They could have interviewed Dr. David Thomas or the president of Howard University, but they didn't. So they weren't looking for truth. They were looking for a story to back into it. They backed into this bullshit.
I just have a problem you writing a story saying, go back to it, HBCU's identity crisis, and written by Shauna Chin and Marissa Fernandez. And I literally tagged both of them in my tweets to Jim Vanderhei saying, this is a bullshit story. And I got a problem with the story.
But Roland, the identity crisis in their minds is they view, which is why I keep saying Howard, but the same is true of Morehouse because they got my brother Robert Smith money. And just, you know, let me go back to Spelman and some Cosby money. Let me just talk about it and understand that when we don't struggle, they think we don't have an identity. Like us struggling to get an education is part of the identity, and it is not. You can't steal my culture from me as a Howard grad just because people who are of other hues come through. They've always been coming through, and they get an education, and they experience more blackness than they've ever experienced while they get their wonderful education. So just because people with millions and billions are more and more supporting what the three of us on this panel have been blessed to experience doesn't mean that we don't have an identity. We have our same identity. We are just ratified.
And hold up, they mentioned They mentioned the donations. This is the lead of the article. Historically, black colleges and universities are seeing a new wave of substantial donations and interest from big-name talent, but the attention has also highlighted questions of cultural identity. No, let me say this. No. Let me say this right here, Axios. You have decided to all of a sudden realize that HBCUs exist.
Exactly.
You have decided that, not all of a sudden big name talent. Let's be real clear. Let's be real clear here. I want to be real clear. Axios, Nicole Hannah-Jones,
Yes.
going to Howard, as well as why is it escaping me? Ta-Nehisi Coates. They ain't the first big name folk to go to HBCUs. See, all of a sudden, let me just go ahead and break this down. All of a sudden, white people and other non-black people are going, oh my God, Nicole Hannah-Jones and Ta-Nehisi Coates, they're going to HBCU. Oh my God, what's going on?
To teach.
When there have been a number of big name people. See, the problem is it's big name people that white people know. So see, that's why. So the real issue is not HBCUs have an identity crisis. The problem is Axios has a black identity crisis because you now have discovered HBCUs. So because now I'm not done. So because McKinsey has taken her divorce money from Jeff Bezos and has given millions to HBCUs, y'all have discovered that HBCUs exist. And so all of a sudden, you want to write a little cute story about, oh my goodness, identity crisis, because y'all looked up and went, woo, there are 2 HBCUs that are predominantly white. Let me help y'all out. There are actually 3. There's Bluefield, there's West Virginia State University, and there's also Lincoln University in Missouri. Those 3 are predominantly white. Now, if y'all want to, you can go to Harris Stowe, that's also in St. Louis, to find an HBCU. If y'all also had any depth whatsoever, Axios, Shauna Chin, Marissa Fernandez, what y'all would have done, because see, I've done it, because I've actually covered this for years, you would have realized that West Virginia State University and Bluefield State College have gone to great pains in order to ensure their students don't forget their HBCU legacy. What you may have also realized is that Bluefield State College created scholarships to attract black students who in the area of theology to come to that Christian university because of that history. I'm sorry, how do I know that? It's probably because I've actually talked to the president of Bluefield State College, who has worked in partnership with my pastor, Ralph Douglas West, out of Houston, Texas, the Church Without Walls. See, that's what happens when y'all talk to black people who have an understanding of HBCUs. So, message to all mainstream white media. If y'all gonna all of a sudden discover HBCUs, do the damn research before you write ignorant ass headlines saying there's an identity crisis at HBCUs. No, y'all are just clueless.
Yeah.
And we'll leave it at that. Folks, back to our Roll Mark Unfiltered video in just one moment. CEEKcom is a black-owned company founded by Mary Spiel, a virtual reality company where you have the content where you can really see some tremendous virtual reality video. Of course, you could do so with this VR headset right here, where you just simply pop your phone in, and then, of course, you pop it on, and then, of course, you can experience that 360-degree video in virtual reality. You can look at a lot of the great content of other artists that are on their site as we speak. You can also listen with these amazing 360-degree sound Bluetooth headphones. And of course, I know Scott hates it, but the gold ones, I certainly match my alpha attire. And so, again, great sound. You can use it for gaming. Like I say, it's Bluetooth, so you can take phone calls. The music is tremendous. The bass is crazy. Folks, if you want to get these headphones or you want to get the virtual reality headset, go to Seekcom. Use this promo code RMVIP2021. RMVIP21 if you want to check it out. So go to Seek.com to try these products out. And then when you support Seek.com by buying these products, a portion comes back to us at Roland Martin Unfiltered. So we certainly appreciate Mary Spio and Seek.com for being partners with us here at Roland Martin Unfiltered. All right, folks, let's talk a little COVID here. Joe Rogan, of course, on Spotify, man, he was sitting here going off, talking about COVID and the vaccines. Last week, he was angry that venues were requiring vaccine cards by folks as proof had the vaccine, and said he was just outlandish. Well, he dropped this video today after coming off the road.
Feeling very weary. I had a headache, and I just felt run down. And just to be cautious, I separated from my family, slept in a different part of the house, and throughout the night, I got fevers and sweats, and I knew what was going on. So I got up in the morning, got tested, and turns out I got COVID. So we immediately threw the kitchen sink at it, all kinds of meds, monoclonal antibodies, ivermectin, Z-Pak, prednisone, everything. And I also got an NAD drip and a vitamin drip, and I did that 3 days in a row. And so here we are on Wednesday, and I feel great. I really only had one bad day. Sunday sucked, but Monday was better. Tuesday felt better than Monday, and today I feel good. I actually feel pretty fucking good. That's the good news. The bad news is we have to move the Friday show in Nashville. It's going to move to Sunday, October 24th. So that will be the new Nashville date. My apologies to everyone. Obviously, there's nothing that I can control. It is what it is. Crazy times we're living in. But a wonderful, heartfelt thank you to modern medicine for pulling me out of this so quickly and easily. And my love to all of you. Thank you. Bye.
So, Robert, he threw all kind of meds at it, thanking modern medicine. He was trashing Fauci. He was sitting here. He was trashing all of this. He was, oh, how dare these venues require people to have vaccine cards? Now your ass got COVID.
Look, or there's got to be, like, how is all that stuff easier than just getting the shot in the first place? Like, I'm trying to understand this. You can either A, get 2 shots and not have to worry about it, or B, you can take horse tranquilizers, experimental antibodies, drugs, drip, and almost die overnight. And then, like, how is that easier? Like I'm a lazy person, so I'm going to do the easier thing. So I got vaccinated because that seemed to be a far easier thing than throwing the kitchen sink at it. This entire thing has just shown that America is living in an idiocracy. Imagine being in a country that is so advanced and so well financed that you can tell people, here is the cure to the disease that kills people, and they will say to you, nah, I ain't gonna take it. I don't want the cure. But what the hell kind of sense does this make?
And the thing here, Monique, first of all, you can be vaccinated and still get COVID. The whole point of it is to lessen, obviously, your symptoms. Now, you have the people who are saying, yeah, but people who got vaccinated passed away. They cite the sheriff that's in Mississippi there as well. which we also explain to people, which is why you still must take cautions, you still must wear masks and those things along those lines. But 98% of the people right now who are hospitalized, who are in ICUs, are unvaccinated, okay? And hopefully Joe Rogan and anybody else who's white or black or Latino or Asian, Native American, who's gay, who's straight, who has money, who's no money, maybe you'll now pay attention and stop playing games with this, because this is not a game.
No, it's not. And even the 5 or 10 things that he said he did in order to attack it right away, I'm hoping that our folks who are watching, and I thank you, Roland, for just being so consistent and fastidious with covering this pandemic and giving our people the best medical information possible. Our folks don't even know what those things are to do or how to do them. And so it's not even a question of get the vaccine or don't. I'm sure he's vaccinated. If he lied and said he wasn't, I wouldn't believe it. But then feeling symptoms from a breakthrough and then knowing, I mean, to try prednisone, to know which vitamins to take, to be able to access all of the different things that are available to people who have money, influence, the right color, access to medical insurance, access to health care. And so we still end up dead, frankly. And so it's not that I wanted him to die. Of course I didn't. And I hope that he's over the worst of it. But it really is criminal. It really is criminal for people who are affluent and of a certain means and station in this life to push out their you don't need whatever kind of views onto people who can't even fathom the types of things they have access to when they're in a pinch.
And that particular point right there, Scott, is important because for a lot of people who aren't making $100 million from your Spotify deal, all the stuff he described, they can't afford all that.
It's so misleading, and it's just fundamentally wrong. But when you look at his video purposely avoids talking about the dangers of COVID. He said, oh, I had one bad day. Oh, it wasn't too bad. I was better, and they pumped me full of drugs and stuff. He sounded like Donald Trump, if you will, that he was triumphant over it, and therefore it was okay. It wasn't too bad. But what about the long-termers? You see, I have friends who are long-termers who still can't taste their food. They can't smell. They have no sense of smell. They have liver and heart damage. That's the real danger. Sure, 90% of the people in ICU right now haven't been vaccinated, but there are people who, even if they cure themselves or if they overcome it, are still have long-term effects. That, in many respects, is more dangerous because you're going to have a lifetime of long-term effects as opposed to being in an ICU and dying from COVID. They're both just as bad. And I just think it's just unbelievably sad and cruel that these leading voices on this platform, this media platform, are spewing this negative filth, and 49% of Americans who live in this incredible country are not getting vaccinated, are catching COVID, making life miserable for the rest of us, and we won't make it, this government, Democrat or Republican government, I don't care, won't make it an obligation, won't make it a requirement to be vaccinated, for kids to be vaccinated, for adults to be vaccinated, when you have over 500,000 people have died from it. You can read anecdotally, but this science is real. It's real. Yeah. And yet we kind of are dumbfounded as we walk around with COVID and hold on to our First Amendment rights. It's a compelling state interest, health, safety, and welfare. We can impinge on our constitutional rights when you have that compelling state interest. It's time to do it. They've got a new variant right now called Mu, that they're monitoring right now, which is spawned from the Delta variant, they think, which was spawned from the original COVID-19. This thing may never go away so long as we act like this.
All right.
Thank you, Scott. I'm sorry. Roland,
Go ahead.
You said compelling state interest, and that was going to be my only question. Scott, do you have a plan in mind for how the federal and also, I can see how the state government could get a mandate going, but how can the federal government do it? Because we know that these states, like my home state of Texas, like Louisiana, the Florida, all the devil governors, they're not going to do it. So what could be done for them?
So the federal government, the same compelling state interest under the U.S. Constitution, they can still impose that federal mandate on the states and penalize them or withhold funds if they don't accept it until the case can go to the Supreme Court. That's very doable. But we do it for polio. We do it for smallpox. Yeah. We do it for driver's licenses. We do it for all of these things to impinge on our constitutional rights. And the federal government just seems to be hesitant to do that because the country is politically split right now. And I get that part, but eventually, how many people are going to have to die? How many long-termers are going to tax our healthcare system before we wake up and say we must infringe on your First Amendment rights and you must be vaccinated because science works and all your political bullshit doesn't? Your political bullshit kills. And it's a bottom-line proposition, and it never stops being that.
Well, Scott, I think also we have to look at whether steps are going to be intercessant to that, because many of these MAGA people, they're waiting for a reason to start a civil war. So I think Joe Biden's very cognizant of the fact that the minute that you put a national mandate in place, we saw what happened on January 6th. Imagine that happening in every state capital. I think what will happen first is you have to start icing these people completely out of society. I know nobody likes the idea of a vaccine passport, but look, it's my birthday. I want to go to a concert into a venue. Everybody who's in there should have to show their vaccination in order to do so. If you want to board a plane, you should have to show a proof of vaccination, because you using your First Amendment rights should not impinge on my individual freedom to be able to go see Frankie Beverly and Mays. I don't need to think that I should be punished because of your bad decisions.
Yeah.
Wait, Robert, are you saying
did
it's your
you
birthday
say
for real?
ice the MAGA people?
Is it your
I just want to
birthday?
make sure I heard that. You can ice them, you said?
Yes, Monique, it is. Yeah, you got to ice them out of society in
Happy
general.
Robert. Happy
That's
birthday.
not the point. The point is, you got to ice these folks out of society so we can all reopen and get back to doing normal stuff.
You're not going to use your 11 millimeter to do that. I just want to make sure. You mean politically ice them, right?
Yeah, we mean that you have to stay home. You get to stay home. The rest of us go outside.
Exactly, man. It's unbelievable. It really is. It's just unbelievable. Are you singing? You're letting her sing on your show, Roland. You would never let me sing.
I'm here for it. This is why me and Monica road dogs.
It was mostly just an example of how as women, it doesn't matter what you're saying. We can just keep on going. Happy birthday to you.
Well, at least you're singing the right version. You're singing the right version.
I sang the whole other version while you talked. You didn't hear any of it. Happy birthday, Robert. God bless you.
Happy birthday,
we love
baby
you.
boy.
We love you, youngster. Keep
no
on
question
keeping
about
on.
it. How old are you?
Keep hope alive.
I stopped counting. I think 37 or 38, somewhere around there.
You're a damn lie. But you go on. I'll let you have that one.
But happy birthday anyway.
How real? September 1st, 84.
Hey, Roland, let's pivot. What's the next topic? I knew you loved that one. Monique. Roland,
you don't want us to ever have a show. I hate you, Scott. I hate you every time you tell him what to do. Our hopes of our own time is further and further away. He's not amused. He's not amused.
I know he isn't.
This is our shot. What is wrong?
We could just let the camera keep rolling until 9 and just do a spin-off.
Folks, back to our Roland Mark Unfiltered video in just 1 moment. Seekcom is a black-owned company founded by Mary Spio, a virtual reality company where you have the content where you can really see some tremendous virtual reality video. Of course, you could do so with this VR headset right here, where you just simply pop your phone in, and then, of course, you pop it on, and then, of course, you can experience that 360-degree video in virtual reality. You can look at a lot of the great content of other artists that are on their site as we speak. You can also listen with these amazing 360-degree sound Bluetooth headphones. And of course, I know Scott hates it, but the gold ones, I certainly match my alpha attire. And so, again, great sound. You can use it for gaming. Like I say, it's Bluetooth, so you can take phone calls. The music is tremendous. The bass is crazy. Folks, if you want to get these headphones or you want to get the virtual reality headset, go to Seekcom. Use this promo code RMVIP2021. RMVIP21 if you want to check it out. So go to Seekcom to try these products out. And then when you support Seekcom by buying these products, a portion comes back to us at Roland Martin Unfiltered. So we certainly appreciate Mary Spio and Seekcom for being partners with us here at Roland Martin Unfiltered. We told you yesterday in that crazy white people segment, the white guy who rode up on the brother at NBC in the middle of his live shot, well, an arrest warrant has been issued for him. His name is Benjamin Eugene Dagley of Wooster, Ohio. He's going to be charged with 2 counts of simple assault, 1 count of disturbing the peace, and 1 count of violating an emergency curfew. He apparently also violated his probation. Why? Because the dumbass literally drove from Cuyahoga County, Ohio to Mississippi. He decided to roll up on Shaquille Brewster to interrupt his live shot, and now your dumbass is about to lose your job and go to jail. See, we keep trying to tell these people, dummy, you got exactly what you should have gotten. Now, I can't wait to see you do the perp walk, since you want to walk up on him in the middle of a hurricane report. Folks, back to that Roland Martin Unfiltered video in just one moment. All right, fam, folks, at Seek.com, virtual reality, of course. You can check out the content at CEEK.com. The company is black-owned, founded by Mary Spio. They've got great content, but also some great products, folks. If you want to check out their virtual reality headset, just pop the phone right into here, watch the content right there at Seek.com, or you can look at 360-degree video with this headset. They're pretty cool, actually, when you look at that video. You can sort of look all the way around, all right, y'all. Then, of course, you also have their headsets here, 360-degree headsets, which are phenomenal sound, tremendous bass. You also, of course, Bluetooth. You can talk with these. Also use it for gaming as well. Use the promo code RMVIP21, RMVIP21 to purchase one or the other. You can also subscribe to Seek.com for their content, music, sports, all kind of great live stuff. So just go to Seek.com, CEEK.com, and check it out. Folks, Afghanistan is now waking up to a new reality. The U.S. military has withdrawn all of its troops, ending America's longest war. Nearly 2,500 Americans died during that particular war, spanning 4 presidencies. Also, today, President Joe Biden spoke with regards to the pullout. You've had people who are still questioning that, saying that why did of course, the United States pull out, that he could have rescinded the decision or altered the decision of Donald Trump. But President Biden made it perfectly clear that was not the case. And he also made it clear that this was the right decision for America to get out of this war, for him to actually end this particular war. And so you still have those particular critics. Here's some of what he had to say today.
It is now over. I'm the 4th president who has faced the issue of whether and when to end this war. When I was running for president, I made a increasing the risk to U.S. personnel and our allies. As a result, to safely extract American citizens before August 31st, as well as embassy personnel, allies and partners, and those Afghans who had worked with us and fought alongside of us for 20 years, I had authorized 6,000 troops, American troops, to Kabul to help secure the airport. As General McKenzie said, this is the way the mission was designed. It was designed to operate under severe stress and attack, and that's what it did. Since March, we reached out 19 times to Americans in Afghanistan with multiple warnings and offers to help them leave Afghanistan, all the way back as far as March. After we started the evacuation 17 days ago, we did initial outreach and analysis and identified around 5,000 Americans who had decided earlier to stay in Afghanistan, but now wanted to leave. Our Operation Allied Rescue ended up getting more than 5,500 Americans out. We got out thousands of citizens and diplomats from those countries that went into Afghanistan with us to get bin Laden. We got out locally employed staff of the United States Embassy and their families, totaling roughly 2,500 people. We got thousands of Afghan translators and interpreters and others who supported the United States out as well. Now we believe that about 100 to 200 Americans remain in Afghanistan with some intention to leave. Most of those who remain are dual citizens, longtime residents who had earlier decided to stay because of their family roots in Afghanistan. The bottom line, 90% of Americans in Afghanistan who wanted to leave were able to leave. And for those remaining Americans, there is no deadline. We remain committed to get them out if they want to come out. Secretary of State Blinken is leading the continued diplomatic efforts to ensure safe passage for any American, Afghan partner, or foreign national who wants to leave Afghanistan. In fact, just yesterday, the United Nations Security Council passed a resolution that sent a clear message about what the international community expects the Taliban to deliver on moving forward, notably freedom of travel, freedom to leave. And together, we are joined by over 100 countries that are determined to make sure the Taliban upholds those commitments. It will include ongoing efforts in Afghanistan to reopen the airport, as well as overland routes, allowing for continued departure to those who want to leave and deliver humanitarian assistance to the people of Afghanistan. The Taliban has made public commitments, broadcast on television and radio across Afghanistan, on safe passage for anyone wanting to leave, including those who worked alongside Americans. We don't take them by their word alone, but by their actions. And we have leverage to make sure those commitments are met. Let me be clear. Leaving August the 31st is not due to an arbitrary deadline. It was designed to save American lives.
Joining us right now is counterterrorism expert Malcolm Nance. He is the author of several books, including The Plot to Betray America, How Team Trump Embraced Our Enemies, Compromised Our Security, and How We Can Fix It. The reality is this here, Malcolm. President Joe Biden had the guts to do what his predecessors did not, and that is end this war. Nearly 2,500 troops. I've seen estimates ranging from $2 trillion to $20 trillion spent in Afghanistan. The initial focus was achieved, taking out Osama bin Laden and also reducing the capacity of Al-Qaeda there. And so when you see these war hawks who continue to yell, oh, we should stay, we should reinvade Afghanistan, did they not learn?
Well, to be honest, it's almost as if the last 20 years did not happen. and that many of these people, and journalists included, who gave like totals of 14 and 15 complete minutes of war coverage in the last, 10 years, just don't believe that this story should end. So we have these people who want to carry out retaliatory attacks for a suicide bombing attack, or to continue our presence in Afghanistan, which would bleed us even further in manpower. It would bleed us economically. It would take our eye off the ball of restoring America as a great nation state. And there were some strides made in Afghanistan. We have to give credit that over the last 20 years, we did allow the education of women. We did allow a more expanded press in the country. But the very fact that Donald Trump carried out a secret deal with the Taliban and negotiated a peace treaty behind the backs of the government of Afghanistan and signed that peace treaty on 26 February 2020, it became clear to every person in Afghanistan that the United States had cut a deal with the Taliban, and the Taliban were going to come in eventually as the leadership and the rulers of that country.
So explain this. So Malcolm, explain this. So you hear people say, "Oh, I love these Republicans who say, well, Biden didn't have to abide by that agreement. He could have junked it."
Yeah, he could have junked that agreement, and what you would have had was open warfare with only 2,500 troops in the United States in that country. One of the biggest problems that we had was what we call green on blue violence, which were Afghans who were Taliban who were infiltrated into the government or who had a private gripe with certain American trainers and would just come up, take their weapons, and kill them. I mean, we could have lost numerous people had the fighting season started again. The Taliban had been left unchecked. They had been, this treaty was supposed to be conditional. Donald Trump adhered to none of the conditions. Look, Joe Biden saw the writing on the wall, and he could have adhered to the treaty, which said the United States was supposed to leave on May 1st. Donald Trump himself in his last weeks tried to get his acting Secretary of Defense to remove every U.S. soldier before January 1st of this year and abandon all U.S. equipment in the country. Not the stuff that belonged to the Taliban, the stuff that belonged to us. So Joe Biden extended that, sat down with the Joint Chiefs, and came up with a plan. What he didn't have a plan for was the fact that for over a year, all of the tribal chiefs, the provincial governors, members of the Afghan government had already seen the writing on the wall and were cutting secret deals with the Taliban and essentially handed the keys to them when one guy on a scooter showed up.
And wasn't this, look, the way I see this is very simple. Biden goes, I'm going to take the hit. Yep. Biden could have easily done what Obama did. He could have easily done what Bush did. That is, oh, no. Just keep it going. Keep it going. Keep it going. Where he said, no. I'm going to take the hit, and I think the American people are going to side with me. So while you got Fox News and OAN and Newsmax and all these people, and yeah, certain people on CNN and MSNBC saying that this was loud, this was awful. I mean, I remember seeing one person saying, there's no way we can get 50,000 people airlifted out of the country before the August 31st deadline. We did.
Yeah,
we did.
We did that when it was at around 35,000. And I think it was Eric Bollard who said, what happens if we're a success? And he picked the arbitrary number of 100,000. And we eclipsed that. We blew past 100,000 very, very quickly. The one thing that the United States is competent in is executing a plan. The problem is that the news media, who, by the way, many of them were very beholden to their, 1 or 2 time experiences in Afghanistan, living the Whiskey Tango Foxtrot life. And if you haven't seen that movie, I'm going to prescribe this to all your followers. If you want to see why they went after Joe Biden, watch the Tina Fey movie, Whiskey Tango Foxtrot, which is about the wild life of journalists living in Afghanistan. It's sort of like an adult amusement park with liquor right? Where they live in these luxurious villas. They all have private security guards, drive around in armored vehicles to get that perfect shot or to get that interview, and people die all around them. Many of these journalists are regretting now that they don't have that. That life is going away. The people that they met, the experiences that they have. Unfortunately, they do not believe that the Afghan people technically chose this. And I have some news for many of your listeners. Afghanistan has 38 million people. Only 5 million are in Kabul, which means the other 33 million who are relatively rural or living in the smaller cities, they cut these deals with the Taliban, and they turned over the keys to the country, and now they have the peace that they want.
And before I go to questions from my panel, this is what I keep saying, and it's hard for some of these people to understand. It's their country. It's their country. And I absolutely understand the concern about women, about girls, about freedom. The Taliban has already made it clear that they're going to lead by a rigid Islamic rule. But let's be real clear. That's Saudi Arabia.
Right.
Look at how the dictator in Turkey, how he's leading. Myanmar. I mean, we can go Philippines. We can go a whole lot of places in the world where America is aligned with folks who do not believe in democracy, do not believe in human rights. Hell, China. I mean, we can go on and on and on. And so this idea that we are going to tell somebody what the hell to do in their country, but then we the same folks, hell, who don't even want Americans telling each other what to do in this country. Come on,
right.
That's a farce.
Yeah, and Afghanistan is a patriarchal, misogynistic, tribal society, okay? And 90% of that population lives rurally. You know, very funny, the right wing criticized me for saying that many of them are goat herders. Most of them are goat herders. I mean, this is a rural society that is agrarian. You know, they live on basic subsistence. But you know what their key subsistence is? Islam, as they want to practice it. Islam, as they see it. They are conservative. They are fundamentalist, right? But what they want is they want their cultural norms to be adhered to without a 2,000-pound laser-guided bomb dropping on their head, accidentally wiping out their village or destroying a wedding party with an AC-130 gunship. It's regrettable. But those deaths were principally because we decided that, you know, we would work towards the goals we established, which were not particularly compatible with the average person in Afghanistan. So they spent this last year choosing who they wanted to rule.
Questions from my panel. Mustafa Sadiq Ali, your question for Malcolm Nance.
Malcolm's good to see you. Yeah, I was blessed that both my family and friends made it back home safely after fighting in Afghanistan. I'm curious, what are one or two of the lessons that you think we should take away from the engagement there?
So, you know, I'm an old spy, so I have some very specific things that just drove me absolutely crazy because I speak Arabic. And when I went there the first time in 2002, the reason that I got through to so many of the Wallis, right, the senior male leader of the village, tribe, or family, is because I could pray in Arabic. I could speak Islam. Yeah, I mean, I could speak Arabic to them. I could read the Quran in Arabic. I could sing nasheeds in Arabic, which they view as the pure language of the Quran, or the pure language of the Prophet. So it opened immense numbers of doors. The very fact that we have to evacuate tens of thousands of translators shows that for 20 years of war, our people didn't even learn their language. So we have a very soft bigotry of culture. We do not care about the cultures we go into. We want to bring our culture on top of it. You know, we want to teach kids not just to eat chocolate bars, but to drink Rip It, concentrated caffeine drinks and things like that, and create this expectation that they will become a mini United States. Many of the neoconservatives and the politicians who invaded Afghanistan and Iraq, especially Iraq, thought they were going to recreate Germany or South Korea there. It takes 5 minutes on the ground to realize you're never getting there. This is not a place where a Marshall Plan could build them up economically and you could change their culture into being, you know, freedom-loving, you know, small d Democrats. These people live tribally. They defeated Genghis Khan and Alexander the Great and the British twice and the Soviet Union with their interfamilial tribalism. So instead of bringing that and investigating the human factors to determine why we were considered bad, laser-guided bombs, and why the Taliban were considered acceptable, Muslims working towards a cause they could understand, well, then we essentially just fought that war 20 times over. And the worst part is no one read a book about Vietnam, which was the exact same thing.
Brianna, your question for Malcolm Nance.
Yes, thank you so much for having this conversation. It's very vital with our world expanding. And you've touched on great points. You know, I don't remember Donald Trump flying one Kurd to safety. He let Turkey slaughter them, and they were our allies. They served with our troops, and there was no outrage from that. But Biden has safely evacuated more than 100,000 Afghans at this point. And I'm saying, let's take score. As it stated, you know, Trump had a year to get the civilians and allies and diplomats out of there, but not one peep. He did it, you know, for the Nobel Peace Prize, wasn't serious, and now Biden comes in and takes, you know, takes control of it. And, you know, while we work to end our presence safely, we can't abandon the women and children of Afghanistan. But frankly, I know we can't keep asking our service members to go in alone anymore. And so it's time for the world to generally invest in the United Nations to develop a robust and consensus-building institution, one that's truly capable of handling severe humanitarian challenges like Afghanistan and Haiti as well, of what's going on over there. And so as we keep a close eye on how these crises unfold, what are some policies or suggestions that you think could come from the White House and really playing a role stronger into the United Nations when focusing on this?
You know, I'm glad you said that. I've worked with the United Nations in some pretty obscure parts of the world. Sometimes they knew I was working with them. Sometimes they didn't know that I was working with them. But I always understood their goal, right? Many people like to you know, disparage the United Nations and think, oh, there are a bunch of consensus-building people. We're going to have 500 meetings. There's some organizations that are insanely successful. World Food Program. The World Food Program is like the Special Operations Command. And instead of dropping bombs at their terminal target, they pallet drop food or they bring in bags of food. The World Food Program is insanely successful organization. No one starves when they're around. And they have these incredible digitized databases where everybody gets a little tag on their arm and they know precisely down to the calorie how much each of you have gotten in food, and they can get that food out there. We should be supporting the WFP, UNICEF, the United Nations Children Education Fund. You know, they're talking about transitioning funds. We just had $6 billion sitting in a kitty right now that was supposed to go to the government, you know, it was supposed to go to the government of Afghanistan. It's not going to go there. That was supposed to help the government, you know, integrate itself more better and computers. Those people stole the money, right? Because they're government bureaucrats. There's not a country in the Middle East, Sub-Saharan Africa, Southwest Asia, or Asia proper itself where the bureaucrats don't steal money and are corrupt. It's just, it's a fact of life. Take that $6 billion, drop $3 billion into UNICEF, drop the other $3 billion into the World Food Program, you know, or UNHCR, United Nations High Commission for Refugees. You know, the Taliban are children of the Afghan refugees who went to Pakistan with when the Soviet Mujahideen war that we were funding was being fought. And so in those camps, they became the Talib, right? The students who were studying fundamentalist Islam, and therefore when they came together as a combat arm, they were the Taliban, those who are students or those who are educated, in Islam. Well, maybe we can moderate some of that with United Nations High Commission for Refugees. Drop $10 billion in their laps, and the UN will work with the countries the Taliban trust. Qatar, Oman, Turkey, and in some respects, Pakistan. And maybe we can maintain these gains for women. Maybe the Taliban don't want to be North Korea of Southwest Asia. Maybe they want to be the Saudi Arabia of Southwest Asia, which means women will put the burqa back on. They will be what we call Mia bil Mia, which is 100%. That's all black, all gloves, all socks. That's what the Saudis are. And they're considered relatively liberal compared to the Taliban. The Saudis themselves will want to have a moderating effect on them and to create this Islamic Emirate of Afghanistan. But we have to support the global organizations. And you know, the minute we do this, we execute the Malcolm Plan, the right wing will go crazy about the New World Order because they're crazy. And they hate anything that will benefit people of color on the other side of the world, even if it is the most successful food programs that moderates the Taliban's extremist activities. These people won't care. You and I both know that.
Final question, Cleo Monago from Malcolm X.
Greetings, Malcolm. It's good to meet you.
Hey,
before September 2001 at 8:46 a.m., most of us had not heard of the Taliban. They weren't a household word to us. I've been told that they're a terrorist organization. I've also been told that before 9/11, this country, I think it would maybe have been the younger Bush, had invested in the Taliban and given money to the Taliban. And I'm trying to find out from you, my question is this true? Is it true that the United States had collaborative financial, in particular, relationships with the Taliban before 9/11 and did not consider them terrorists then, but they became terrorists in name after 9/11?
Yeah, this is where you have to block out history by decades. Because what I'm going to do is I'm going to clarify some of the timeline. From 1980 to 1989, the men that the United States funded from the northern tribes in Afghanistan, and the northern tribes in Afghanistan, and then assisted the government of Saudi Arabia to fund Arabs to come from across the Middle East, the fundamentalist diaspora, and to get fundamentalist Arabs out of their country so that they wouldn't carry out their own jihad. The Saudis chose a representative who is the son of one of the 52 children of the richest man in Saudi Arabia. And that person was named Osama bin Laden. The United States and the CIA were funding another branch of that, the Northern Alliance forces, and the men from the Pashanjir Valley, Ahmed Shah Massoud. Doesn't matter. Another group that we were supporting because of our resources going to the Saudis was a guy by the name of Ahmed Azam. This was the fundamentalist. Azam was a Palestinian who had studied in Saudi Arabia, close friends with bin Laden. But Azam was really about the entire getting rid of the Soviet Union out of Afghanistan. Those people were all collectively called the Mujahideen, right? The Holy Warriors. When the war ended in 1989, and everybody started to dissipate, the Afghan tribes went back to their areas and created warlords, right? Osama bin Laden and Abdullah Azam got into a fight in Peshawar, Pakistan, in 1989, because Azam said, war's over, everybody go home. Osama bin Laden had in his mind a philosophy that he needed to incite a clash of civilizations between the West and the Arab states in order to defeat them, and then they could take over all the Arab states and create a caliphate. This started in 1989. They killed Abdullah Azzam with a car bomb in Peshawar, Pakistan. And then all those Arabs that were under Azzam fell under Osama bin Laden and his organization, Al-Qaeda al-Jihad, headquarters of the Holy War. They went to Sudan because the warlords in Afghanistan started fighting. Now, notice I said they went to Sudan. The Taliban were these children living in Pakistan and eastern Afghanistan who were not, they were Afghans from the Pashtun tribes in the northwest frontier province in eastern Afghanistan. They didn't go with bin Laden. So this is where the Taliban came from. They are the refugee children and fighters from the Holy Warriors. Osama bin Laden branched out specifically to be a terrorist group in order to incite a clash of civilizations between Islam and the West. When the Taliban defeated all the warlords in the 1980s, 1980 all the way up to 2001, right? Or I think it was like, no, not 1980, 1990, 91, 92, all the way up to 2001, they were just creating their own country, the Islamic Emirate of Afghanistan. But because they revered bin Laden, he was a fighter, he had money, he's a Saudi, they let him come and stay in their country, run their armed forces, and they didn't understand that this man intended to attack the United States mainland directly in order to get the United States to invade Afghanistan. And his incitement was called the September 11th attacks, the holy month attacks. That was 9/11. Bin Laden wanted us to invade Afghanistan so that he could do to us what he did to the Soviet Union, which was break us politically and economically. And arguably, he's done that.
Malcolm Nance, have not seen you a lot on MSNBCs. That's why I called you. I said I need to get your perspective. There are very few black people out here breaking this whole stuff down from a counterterrorism perspective. We certainly appreciate you joining us, folks. One of Malcolm's books, you see it right there, and that is The Plot to Betray America. Folks, be sure to get that. Malcolm, thanks a lot.
Just remember, Roland, black spies matter.
Absolutely, I agree. Folks, back to our Roland Mark Unfiltered video in just one moment. All right, fam, folks at CEEKcom, virtual reality, of course. You can check out the content at CEEK.com. The company is black-owned, founded by Mary Spio. They've got great content, but also some great products, so folks. If you want to check out their virtual reality headset, just pop the phone right into here, watch the content right there at CEEK.com, or you can look at 360-degree video with this headset. They're pretty cool, actually, when you look at that video. You can sort of look all the way around, all right, y'all. Then, of course, you also have their headsets here, 360-degree headsets, which are phenomenal sound, tremendous bass. You also, of course, Bluetooth. You can talk with these. Also use it for gaming as well. Use the promo code RMVIP21, RMVIP21 to purchase one or the other. You can also subscribe to CEEK.com for their content, music, sports, all kind of great live stuff. So just go to CEEK.com, CEEK.com, and check it out. All right, folks, glad to have all of you here for our big announcement. On Saturday, we mark the 3rd anniversary of Roland Martin Unfiltered. That's right, the 3rd anniversary. Can you believe it? It has been a phenomenal 3 years. If you have been with us along the way, helping to build this, the first daily digital show specifically targeting African Americans, 5 days a week. When we started, we were 1 hour, and then we moved to 2 hours in our 2nd year. Unbelievable growth, have more than 1 billion minutes watched. We've had just numerous interviews, and of course, averaging 20, 30 million views a month. Just phenomenal growth, but that was never the plan. Just to have Roland Martin Unfiltered. So I am excited today. Well, you know what? Before I do that, I'll tell you this here. Why do we do the show? That's because, of course, remember, we abide by, like all the black press, that initial black newspaper, Freedom's Journal, March 16th, 1827. This is when they dropped the paper, Freedom's Journal, the nation's first black newspaper. And this is it right here. And the thing about Freedom's Journal, in the third paragraph is this. This is what they wrote. We wish to plead our own cause. Too long have others spoken for us. Too long has the public been deceived by misrepresentation in things which concern us dearly. No, we didn't misspell public. That's how it originally was written in 1827. That is the quote that the black press has used. And so over the years, you talk about Frederick Douglass, the North Star, Ida B. Wells Barnett, her writings dealing with pamphlets, dealing with lynching. Of course, the Pittsburgh Courier, Robert Abner, the Chicago Defender, the Atlanta Daily World. We can go on and on and on. Claude Burnett's Associated Negro Press. Of course, Negro Digest, Ebony, Jet, Essence Magazine, Black Enterprise, WOL goes to Radio 1, becomes Urban 1, BET, TV 1. There's a long history of black-owned media, but we're now living in a digital world, which means that we have to have a digital focus. What did Gil Scott-Heron say? Revolution will not be televised. I dare say the revolution will be streamed, which is why today we are announcing this, Black Star Network. Black Star Network is going to be an OTT network available on all platforms across the country. And when I say all platforms, I'm talking all platforms. The app right now is available on your iPhone, on your Android, plus Apple TV, Roku, Samsung, Xbox, Amazon Fire TV as well. So let me show you this right here. And so, as you see, we got our Roku up as we speak. If you arrow down here, what you will see is Black Star Network, curated by Roland S. Martin. Now, it will take you to our homepage. We are already signed in, as you see right here. We are live. So you see all the content we have already up here. Like I say, the app is live. So if we click that, you actually can start watching, and then you'll actually see the program. And so here's the deal. It takes you to this page right here. Now, there are a lot of people who were telling me that, hey, you know what, you should charge. You see the different people. You've got Fox Nation. You've got even Black News Channel announced they're going to have a paid streaming service. We're not going to do that. And again, people told me I should have, but the reality is a lot of our people simply cannot afford to pay for a streaming service. And so we purposely chose to keep this free. We purposely chose for people to be able to access our content. That's what we've done with this show as well, which is why your support for our Bring the Funk fan club has been so critical, because you've been able to give us the opportunity to be able to provide the content to our audience for free. Up until now, we've been live streaming on YouTube, Facebook, Periscope, Twitter, Instagram as well. We're going to continue streaming the show on the platforms, but now we have the ability to have the platform on our own app. But it's not just going to be Roland Martin Unfiltered. I'm going to be unveiling over the next few weeks the shows that we're going to be having. We're going to have, folks, in the next couple of months, 5 hours of original content every single day, a series of daily as well as weekly shows. We will then go up to 8 hours of original content every single day. Repeat that twice in the 24-hour cycle. In the first quarter of 2022, we will unveil the Black Star Network 24-hour streaming channel. That's right. Our goal is to be on Tubi, Pluto TV, Samsung Plus, all those platforms with our 24-hour streaming channel. We have, of course, been building our content library, doing some amazing things. And the first interview that we're going to drop on Black Star Network, it will go up on Saturday morning. It is with noted civil rights attorney Fred Gray. He is 90 years old. He was the legal mastermind behind so many of our civil rights victories. Now, Dr. King did not make a move without calling Fred Gray. He also was the one who sat at the table to help create the Montgomery bus boycott. Here's a look of my conversation with Fred Gray. When you think back to all of those moments, I've often said that one of the greatest mistakes that we make today is that we focus on the march, the speech, the event, but not the strategizing, the planning, the discussion. Talk about that, what that was like to be in those conversations in the back and forth, whether it was King or Lowry or Marshall or all different players, Wilkins and Whitney Young, everyone, as they strategize and walk through and visualize and bounce things off, and you're there as the lawyer navigating that as well, how vital the strategizing was in the movement.
It was very, very important. And let me tell you about the Montgomery bus boycott, because I'm almost the only person who was in the inner circle of the planning of the Montgomery bus boycott. I think there's probably only one now that's left other than me. And that one was one that ended up getting out of the movement before it was over and going on something else. So of those who stuck with it, I'm just about the only one who's there. Let me tell you how the plans were made, and most people didn't know about it even then, and they were a part of it in connection with keeping people off of the buses. Well, we all realized that at some point we're going to have to file a lawsuit to declare the city ordinances and state statutes unconstitutional. However, it takes a long time to do a lawsuit. You can do it, you've tried, you got 2 or 3 appeals, take 2 or 3 years. And if you're going to tell people immediately that you got to stay off of the buses until the lawsuit is resolved, they say you whistling Dixie.
All right, folks, again, you're going to be able to see that full interview on Saturday on Black Star Network. Now, if you're watching right now, folks, you can actually download the app right now on your mobile device. You can download it on your Apple TV, on your Roku, any of your devices. Now, we were just in Los Angeles doing a variety of interviews because we're also going to be having a weekly one-on-one show called Rolling with Roland. One of the folks we talked with in LA was my man, Jeffrey Osborne. Here's a sneak peek of that conversation. When did the damn woo-woo song just become like stupid crazy?
You know what? It was so funny because that song was written by, I wish I had written that song, by the way.
You ain't lying. Yeah, I bet you do.
It was written by a couple of friends of mine, Bruce Roberts, Andy Goldmark, and it was called You Should Be Mine. And I recorded it. I came home, and I'm playing it around the house, you know, and my daughter was 3. Tiffany was 3 years old at the time. So I'll tell you how long ago.
Yeah.
And she kept walking by singing woo-woo. And she said, Dad, I love that woo-woo song. And I'm like, you can barely talk. That's not the woo-woo song. It's called You Should Be Mine. No, it's the woo-woo song. No, it's You Should Be Mine. No, it's the woo-woo song. So I'm fighting with a 3-year-old. So I called the songwriter and I said, my daughter says, this is the woo-woo song. And they said, well, maybe she's right. So they kind of named it the You Should Be Mine, but in parentheses,
right.
It's called the woo-woo song, right?
Wow.
So the record company, before it was released, they were sold on this song. They was like, oh, this song's a hit. So they went out in the street with microphones in the city and had people sing woo, woo, woo. And that was part of their campaign. And people were going crazy over just singing, can you woo, woo, woo? And that song just blew up. And from then, now people are calling me the woo-woo man. I'm like, what?
Right, you know, Jeff, that's the woo-woo man.
Right, it's a woo-woo man, exactly. But that song, man, even still today, I go out and people sing, they love it. And the worse they are, the more fun it is. It don't even matter how good you are or how bad you are. Then people started showing up at the concerts knowing I was going to go. They were showing up with instruments. Guys were sitting out with saxophones. Are you serious? I'm serious. I'm serious. They got up with a saxophone. One guy had a flute. I'm like, what? It's like, I'm going to get my moment. Yeah, exactly. It's crazy.
Oh, okay. Now that's wild.
It was wild. Yeah, people just started showing up with instruments. One lady had a tambourine. Just wanted to play the tambourine. I'm like, this is not an audition. This is.
Had you ever done a show and you didn't sing it and they were mad as hell?
I don't think I've ever not sung that show.
So as y'all can see, you can actually see, boom, the network, the interview right there live as we're broadcasting the show on Black Star Network. Now, remember when I went to Ghana in 2019? We were there for 10 days. We shot some amazing stuff. Well, COVID greatly impacted us last year, my Ghanaian crew. We have been busy this year finishing up the project. We're putting together a 10-part series that will air exclusively on Black Star Network. You now get the first peek at the sizzle reel of 1619 to 2019, the year of return.
You read about it in history, you know, you talk about it, you see it on our side, you know, of the United States, but to actually come here and see where this story of slavery started and connecting the dots is just a wow factor for me right now.
Dark inside. You might not see too much, but you're gonna feel everything.
Just imagine to see prisons in the yard in the United States.
A lot of us, if we're real honest, what is required in 2019, going into 2020, essentially for us to be reprogrammed from what they taught us needs to be removed and extracted.
It just doesn't make sense that the richest continent in the world should be inhabited by the poorest people of the globe.
Part of that is by design. Self-hatred has been a very tragic part of our whole existence. And I'm not blaming anybody for it, but if you look at most characterizations of being of African descent in the world, it's with these kind of tags.
I always say, you're gonna do a lot of shopping. They go, oh, I don't think so. And then they come, so they brought limited reserves, and then they spend all their time running to the ATM because they see all these clothes they want and fabric they want. It's overwhelming. I've been here for 8 years, and I'm still taking pictures out of my car because it's a feast for the eyes on any given day.
The kind of opportunities you have in Africa, you don't have those in America. The kind of money that you can make in Africa, very few of you would have that opportunity to do that in America. Cordy, who was working for the Congress in the United States, she has started a waste management company. She's the #1 here in Ghana now. She looked at
dollar signs in trash.
There it is.
What used to be jeans.
Used to be jeans.
Is now a huge rush.
In Ghana alone, we have a 2 million unit deficit in housing.
2 million.
2 million.
Seven of the 10 fastest growing economies right now are African nations. Why in the world would we not be trying to figure out how to connect? Because the Lebanese are, the Chinese are, everybody else is doing it. We will be crazy to do it. And it's for people who look like us. We will be crazy to do it. Crazy to do it. Crazy to do it. And one of the issues that we have when we're streaming on Facebook, YouTube, and Periscope, Instagram, that we're limited in doing what we call pre-rolls. And so when we have advertisers who want to actually run spots, well, we have to go through all these different hoops. Now having our own OTT network, we can actually integrate commercials like this into our programming. Of course, we partnered with Coca-Cola for the Me X Swag Challenge. We're going to be attending 3 HBCUs with 8 HBCU games with them this year. We'll be at the Magic City Classic in Birmingham. We'll be at the Bayou Classic in New Orleans. And of course, the Celebration Bowl in Atlanta in December. And so for the advertisers who we're talking to, we'll be able to do this on Black Star Network.
Yes, no.
try it first.
All right then, folks. And so it has been absolutely phenomenal. Now, you may be asking, how did I come up with the name Black Star Network? Well, last year, we actually tasked a company to put together a list of names. And so what they did was they sat with some marketers and they sat around the room and they spent a couple of days tossing out different things. And I wasn't happy with what they came back with. And then something hit me. Something hit me in 2020. I thought about Marcus Garvey. Marcus Garvey had a cruise line. That cruise line was called Black Star. The cruise line's purpose was to connect African Americans with people in the African diaspora. Of course, when I went to Ghana in 2019, I had an opportunity to actually visit the Black Star that's in Accra, Ghana. This gate was built by Kwame Nkrumah, the first president of Ghana, and it was revealed. And so I got a chance to go to the top of the gate and actually take this photo on top of the gate, which is exactly what we did. And so I was thinking about it and I said, that could be a very good idea. Black Star Network. Not only because of that connection, I also wanted to be able to say, what are we about creating Black Stars with our digital platform? Okay, folks, let's go ahead and show it. And so that's one of the photos there. You saw it in the video as well. And so there were several different photos that we shot because Nkrumah wanted he wanted Ghana to be the gateway to Africa. Well, we want Black Star Network to be the gateway to Black-owned content, to give an opportunity to Black creators to be able to show what they can do. And so we've got some phenomenal things that we have planned. I'm not going to announce the shows that we have lined up, but folks, trust me, we're focused. It's an amazing stuff. We're in 3 different areas: news, politics, business, tech, and also in culture. Culture could be religion, it could be entertainment, it could be any number of things. It could be cooking, it can be comedy, it can be all kinds of different stuff. And so, man, we got some stuff lined up. And so we're going to be unveiling these shows over the next several weeks. And so I really look forward to it. I can already see. So what happens is, as y'all are signing up, I get notifications of people who are signing up. And boy, I tell you, the emails are just going and going and going. Y'all are signing up right now. And so while you're signing up for the OTT channel, also, you can also subscribe to our YouTube channel, Black Star Network. We also have all of our social media handles ready, so you see right there. Those are all the social media handles. You can go sign up right now to our Black Star Network Facebook page. You also have our Black Star Network YouTube page. Twitter, we couldn't get all black in there with Star and Network, so Twitter is BLK Star Network. You can also go there. You can also see our Instagram page. And so all of those pages are already there. I want every single one of you who already follow me to follow all of those different accounts as well, because we're going to be pushing out some great, amazing content, folks, with this particular network. And again, it is 100% Black owned. This is an opportunity for us to be able to speak to our issues, for us to be able to really have the kind of content that's needed. And by having the OTT network, again, we're not limited by what we're doing right now on YouTube, Facebook. And so I dare say for all these advertisers out here who keep saying they want to support Black-owned media, now is your shot. Now is your shot to actually support. I had people who were saying that, well, you know what, you're streaming on those platforms. We really could do business if you had your own. This is my own. Now you have no more excuses to say you can't support what we are doing. As I said, we're putting together our 24-hour streaming network. I'm going to do something here. So, Henry, why don't you go ahead and do this here? Y'all, we're here in our new studios. Y'all seen the shot of our control room. And so we're building this whole thing out. And so I'm just going to give y'all a glimpse of what y'all are seeing right now. You're seeing the backdrop. And so I'm just going to give y'all just a sense. So you see the colors here. And so these are all glass offices here. When we unveil our new studio, hopefully next week, all of these offices will be lit. And so all of this is actually being built out as we speak. We're actually having a set. That set is being built right now by an Alfred brother who's, of course, in set designer, Hollywood set designer, teaching at Howard University. That's being built as we speak, will be installed next week. Then, of course, you have our set, our new set that's over here that you've been seeing me as well. And so we have been working on that. We got the Leroy Campbell art piece. You see that as well. And of course, we're going to be, all of that is going to be all designed. And I told you just the other day, we actually have, of course, the Black-owned drape company that installed our green screen. And so we got that as well. So a whole lot of things happening here at Roland Martin Unfiltered. Now, Black Star Network as well. And so what you'll have to understand is that we've been working real hard over the last 18 months. A lot of people we've been talking to, working with, again, on this whole deal. People who've been working with us on economic strategies. We've been looking at doing crowdfunding. We've been talking about all of those different things. I sort of held off on that because we really wanted to build this thing proper. Dwayne McKnight with the Marathon Fund, we've been meeting with him on, again, finances. How do we actually build this out economically? But y'all have been so critical because it's your resources that have been helped us to be able not to have to go out and give away equity for a small amount of money. We've been able to build this thing very methodical over the past 18 months. And so that was always the plan. And you got to understand who also saw this. My wife, Reverend Jackie Hood Martin. When I had my 40th birthday, she was asked the question, it was in the video, she was asked the question, what will Roland Martin be doing by the time he's 50? And she said he will have his own network. Remember, I turned down the deal at TV One in 2018 after News One Now was canceled, and I was 49. We launched Roland Martin Unfiltered on September 3rd, 2018. I'll be 53 in November. We were building this for the future, and I can't wait to unveil the stuff that we have. And so it's going to be fantastic. Y'all have played a huge part in it. And so we want you to tell all your friends, all your family. They can download the app. They can now watch our content on their television. A lot of our seasoned saints, you don't have to sit and try to get them to figure out how to use their phone. If they have Apple TV, if they have Roku, if they have Amazon Fire TV, if they have Samsung Tizen, if they have Xbox, they can now watch Black Star Network and Roland Martin Unfiltered on all of those platforms. Folks, back to our Roland Martin Unfiltered video in just one moment. All right, folks, CEEK.com is a Black-owned virtual reality company founded by Mary Spio. That's right, VR is all the rage. The ability for you to be able to actually be immersed in the space to feel what's going on. Imagine being at a concert and you're watching the concert, but you're actually in the seat in the concert. And so that you can able to see that great videos and all kinds of different things on CEEK.com. Using their VR headset, you simply just drop your phone right into here. And again, you're able to then immerse yourself in the experience right there. Also, of course, they have these great headphones right here, the 360-degree headphones. You can use this for gaming. It's Bluetooth. You can talk on them as well. The bass is tremendous. I love jamming these when I'm on airplanes. Folks, you can get these by going to CEEK.com using the promo code RMVIP21, RMVIP21, where you can get these. And when you purchase one or both of these, a portion of the proceeds comes back to us here at Roland Martin Unfiltered. You know, we support Black-owned businesses, and it's the Black-owned businesses giving back to us as well. So go to CEEK.com, CEEK.com, to get these items. In Georgia, a school superintendent is allowing teachers to wear jeans to alleviate pleas for district-wide mask mandate.
Huh?
Bullock County School District Superintendent Charles Wilson sent an email encouraging to help teachers to be more comfortable in classrooms. The email reads the following. I realize that words can only go so far, especially when one is doing so much. But I still have to reach out and say thank you for all that you are doing for our students and for each other. Everyone fights their own battles, but all of you are angels and heroes to our children, and they need you. Please remember that. I talked with principals today, and we all agreed that though it is a small gesture, you would enjoy the liberty of wearing jeans for the next month. Wilson wrote, so by all means, please enjoy your jeans throughout the month of September and the rest of August. The email offended teachers, citing rising COVID cases, the need for a mask mandate to protect students and staff. Hundreds of students in the district tested positive for COVID in the first 3 weeks of school. Masks are currently optional in the school district, and exposed students can still attend school as long as they are asymptomatic. So, Julian, I'm confused. He chose jeans over this. I'm just trying to understand. I'm just trying to understand what's more comfortable. I mean, first of all, this mask is not uncomfortable, but I dare say that if it felt like my chest was caving in and I couldn't breathe, that might be a wee bit uncomfortable.
You know, this is hilarious. It is beyond hilarious. I mean, I don't know who this man is. I don't know how he became a superintendent. He needs to give his credential back and go someplace. I mean, this is just the craziest thing I've ever heard. First of all, the reason why teachers dress professionally is to show students, to be role models for students. And the teachers want mask mandates because they want to be safe and they want their students to be safe. So what does this idiot do? I mean, so you can wear jeans? I mean, what is the point? I don't get it, but I just find it repugnant that someone who's an educator and a theoretical role model would come up with such a stupid, not trying to curse on the air, but you know what I'm thinking. Just a stupid directives. So no mask, but you have jeans. That's not an even exchange. I mean, that's simply not an even exchange. I mean, I don't get it. I am an educator. That's what I do. And I just can't figure out this man's rationale. But if he's elected, put him out. If he's appointed, unappoint him. He is endangering students, and he is endangering teachers, and he is a MF idiot.
Folks, back to our Roland SMACKS Unfiltered video in just one moment. All right, folks, CEEK is a streaming platform for virtual events and virtual reality experiences featuring the biggest names in music, sports, and entertainment from around the globe. It, of course, is a Black-owned company founded by Mary Spio. CEEK's mission is to enable content creators to directly generate revenue from a global audience on multiple devices, including VR headsets, smart TVs, gaming consoles, mobile and desktop devices. Whether you're a gamer, music or sports enthusiast, CEEK has something for everyone. All right, folks, and a couple of items that they have that you can actually purchase. That is their 360-degree headphones. Unbelievable sound and bass with these headphones. Great for gaming as well. Bluetooth enabled, and so you can definitely get these headsets in addition to their virtual reality headset as well, where you simply just pop your phone in right here, watch your VR content right there on Watch it right there on CEEK.com. You can watch 360-degree video as well. If you want to get either one of these, go to CEEK.com. Use this promo code RMVIP21, RMVIP21, and that will give you a discount. And remember, when you purchase these headphones or even the VR headset, a portion of the proceeds comes back to us here at Roland Martin Unfiltered, Black-owned company, supporting another Black-owned company. Again, CEEK.com.